Hey everyone, Sharon Julian here, and we're going to talk about the Midnight Oracle Charm Casting Kit. So this is something new that I have coming out, and you'll see here everything that is in the kit. So this is what you actually get mailed to you. It's a purple velvet bag, and it contains the actual kit with all of the mini charms. So these are little guys, and there are 22 of the charms in the kit, which is a pretty nice amount for a starter set of charms. Obviously, you can add your own if you like. I'm going to just spread them out here a little bit on this so you can see them a little closer. I'm also going to link to the product, and there's much better photos there that you can take a look at if you haven't already. But here's a close-up that shows some of the little charms in the kit. And what you'll get also with this kit is a couple of sheets. Now these are downloadable. They don't actually come in the mail with your kit. They're not sent to you. These are PDFs that you can print on your own printer at home. And that's what I've done here. This is what they look when they're printed out. And so you get the charm castings instruction sheet, tells you how to cast them and how to read them, and it has meanings for every charm that's included in the kit. So all 22 charms have the meanings all spelled out here with all the keywords. And you also get this charm casting sheet that you can download and print out. It's also a PDF, and you'll see that it's like a grid. You can see the little lines here on it. So there's several squares, and it's kind of like a spread when you're doing a spread with like the tarot cards or oracle cards, and you basically cast the charms onto this sheet. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be casting some charms for you and doing a little reading to show you basically how it works. Okay, I'm going to line this up here so we can see everything. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you do a reading is you're going to want to make an intention. Maybe you just want a general reading, which is fine. You can ask about any issues that you have going on, anything you want to know about. And here's the thing, you don't even have to use all of the charms. So I'm going to probably use like just a section, but sometimes like if I just want a little bit of clarity, you can also use these to clarify, and we'll talk about that as well. I'll just take mix them up and just take a few charms in my hand. I didn't even count these, I don't even know. And then I just like toss them onto the sheet or onto the cards that I've thrown, and they can be a nice clarifier. So right now, like this is a general reading, and it's showing that there's like a little dolphin charm that is right on my love life. I've got the moon kind of straddling these two squares here about finances and important focus right now. This is so crazy because this is so true. And then I've got the spoon over here on your health square, so my health square. Okay, so if I were going to read these charms for myself, I'd go over to the meanings sheet. Right now, I'm just going to set these little charms aside. And I actually have another meaning sheet right here. So I'm going to start just with your health. Now notice that I basically cupped my hands and threw the charms down, just kind of dropped them onto the sheet. You can also put fabric under the sheet or a box or something if you don't want them to bounce too far. So basically also, if I'd had any charms that I'd thrown and they were like, say, outside the grid over here, I would not read these charms. I would just ignore those. Another thing to remember when we're doing this reading is that you'll see the little tiny loops at the top here. You can actually use these charms. You can thread them onto a cord for like a necklace or a bracelet if you wanted to be able to carry them around or wear them to kind of get your vibe on them and everything. So, but for now, how we're reading is whatever the charm is pointing to. Now this one, because it's in this square only, is going to obviously just pertain to that. This is only pertaining to this. And this one is between squares. So it's pointing, the little loop at the top is pointing to your most important focus right now. But it's also in the finances. So you could choose to read only this square, but I would read this one as well because it's like right between them. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the meanings of the cards. So I'm looking at spoon on the list. I'll show you the list here real quick, see if it'll focus on it there for us. So you can see spoon, okay, here near the bottom. So it's nurturing, eating well, abundance, helping others, and it's also a female energy. In the tarot, it also represents the Empress. So you'll see that I have little correspondences to the tarot. Every charm corresponds to something. Okay, so this is really perfect to get on the health square because it's about eating right. That's one of the things. It's a spoon. It's about eating right. So this is telling me that I really need to look out for what I'm eating and to eat better, which, yes, that's a no-brainer for me. That is really, really true. So especially on the holidays when I indulge a lot. But I do need to eat better. And so, okay, that's my message there for spoon. Now I'm going to come across and I'm going to look at my most important focus right now, which is also related to my finances. And it's so interesting because that really is my focus. I'm focusing on business. I'm focusing on growing it and making more money. So it's got the moon charm here. So I'm going to look up the moon on our list. And here is the moon. It says confusion, guided in darkness, intuition, hidden, cycles, timing. And it is the moon from the tarot. So this is really interesting. Okay, so it's funny sometimes when I read the different keywords, I pick one out. And so this one is guided in darkness. Like that really stands out for me right now. And I really do feel like it's interesting because I'm doing this video a day after solstice, which is the darkest night of the year. And I've actually felt a little confused about how I am going about growing my shop and everything right now, growing my business. And so this just tells me that, yeah, okay, right now, this could be a period of confusion. It could seem like a period of darkness, but the moon is going to guide me out right now. So as we move into the new year, I think I'm going to be very guided in my business to help grow it. Now, this is interesting because I got something on my love life. I am engaged and we're getting married in 4 months, like from Christmas Eve. Literally, we're getting married in 4 months. So I just bought my wedding dress. This is really fun. So we're going to see what Dolphin, this is like the Dolphin charm, here has to say about my love life. Okay, it says children, playtime, balance, thinking creatively, and exercise. And it's about temperance. Oh, how interesting. So my partner's card in the major arcana of the tarot is temperance. Mine is actually the Empress, which I got before. So this is really interesting. So he is temperance, and I don't want children. We don't want children at this point in our lives. We're both over 50. And this is my first marriage, though. I'm pretty excited about it. And so, and I've been a little stressed out about the wedding. My sister-in-law to be basically said, yeah, this is the most stressful time of her life was planning her wedding. And I'm really trying not to make it be that way. And we've actually downscaled a lot because of COVID. But yeah, playtime and balance and thinking creatively, getting some exercise relates back to this health thing. Actually, he and I have both talked about getting exercise lately. So anyway, that's really fascinating. So I would say that my love life right now, we need to have a little bit more balance of like watching out for our health and balancing our work time and our play time, which is always certainly true because we're both working a lot. So that's how basically this is just a mini reading, like it's a tiny little reading, smaller than the reading you might do. So like if, for instance, you could use all of the charms if you wanted to, and not all of them are going to be on the sheet. Now, I would normally throw all of these at once. If this was the number I was going to throw, I would throw them at one time. This is interesting again. So wherever you see the most charms here, this is going to be very important. Now, this I would consider maybe off the sheet, but it's interesting that these are kind of still here, like a little bit on the square. So if they're halfway in, if they're on the line, you can read them. You don't have to use this charm since it was like outside, but it's sort of part of this group, so you might want to anyway. Just use your intuition with that. There's not like a huge right or wrong way to do this. So, but I would definitely read these as being connected because they're in such a tight group here. And so for instance, like I got like elephant there, and what else do we have over here? We've got the little bow, and it's funny because like, let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe we can see a little bit better what we've got. All right, so yeah, so we've got the elephant, the bow, the key, and the knot over here. And we've got the peace sign here on the outside. So we've got this interesting little progression going on. And I would probably read those together. So just for giggles, we'll look at that. And so this is career, and then how to get more clarity. We're going to kind of read those together. So we're going to look at the elephant, which is strength, power, memories, overcoming obstacles, and money. And it's about strength in the tarot because the elephant is really strong. So I'm going to zoom out just a little tiny bit here. All right. And okay, so yeah, and it's so interesting because that's right on career, right? So the elephant is on career, and it's talking about strength. And so this is like a lot to me about stepping up, and being very resilient, because things may not all go exactly as you plan in the beginning, but you hang in there. And then we've got the little bow there, and that is endings and beginnings, marriage, travel, full circle, also feminine, the female vibe there. Doesn't necessarily mean there is a woman in the picture, but it's just a feminine vibe, and it is the world in the tarot. So again, I'm getting married, so this is really interesting for me. And it might have something to do with that also, because a marriage is a beginning, right? It's a beginning with the both of us being together. And it's possible that we could be doing more business stuff together when we get married. Then there is the key. I'm going to look at that real quick. Key means answers, a puzzle, knowing, power, legal matters, contracts, and rules. And it is justice in the tarot. So, this is really interesting. So it may be a puzzle that we're trying to figure out, how we're going to make all of this stuff work together, which is true. I think that we're both in that question of how do we blend our lives so that it's super harmonious. We've done that so far, but we haven't actually lived together yet. So that's going to be an interesting adjustment. So not is there as well. It's convoluted, committed, restricted, strong ties are falling apart, and it's the Tower in the tarot. Okay, the Tower in the tarot has actually been stalking me lately. So it's really interesting though, because, and this is also on how to get more clarity as well. So yeah, it's kind of like things are sort of falling apart, but they might actually be falling in place, is how I read this sometimes. And so yeah, we're actually uniting our lives and uniting our ties when we get married. And I think because this is really what he does, is he helps entrepreneurs like me get started in business and to grow their business. This is actually what my fiance does. It's amazing. And so I think that he will give me more clarity, because that's really his role in my life. He's really temperate, so he's really balanced, and he has a lot of good ideas. And so this is interesting, but also, warning us to, to keep our ties together very strong, so things don't fall apart. Now, I did have this peace symbol kind of hanging out here on the edge, if you remember. I'm just going to look at that real quick. It says, friends working together, new cycle, changing luck. And it's the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. So, okay, so for me, that seems really good, because that means that my luck is going to hopefully get better with this. I think it will. I think that my fiance and I are both good for each other, for helping us build security and to also build financially. And so this is really good. I get a good sense about this whole reading. And basically, this is how you do it. So, if you wanted to read, like, say, just, say one square, say you just wanted to read one square, and get a little bit more of a sense specifically what this means, I will say that you read from left to right across, just like I did with this one. We were reading left to right, kind of just right in a row. This one here is what's blocking you, and it has the winged key. Now, if this charm was at the top of the square, it would be something positive, more positive. The middle is like more neutral, and the bottom is more challenging. Also, if you were to the left side, you're talking more about the past, the middle is the present, and this is the future. So this is a future, and it's a challenging aspect. And so I'm going to look at the winged heart key, because that's what this is. It's the winged heart key. It's about life purpose, mission, meaning in life, and career, and it is the Judgment card in tarot. Okay? So I would say what's blocking me then is really living into my mission and my life purpose, and being able to integrate that with my career. So it seems like there's something here that's blocking me from getting to where I want to go with my career. And possibly it has to do with my purpose and my mission in life. So I'm going to be in that question about that. All right, so that is an overview about how to do these. Like I said, you can also use these to clarify your cards. And in that case, I just take a card, like, let's just take one of my Midnight Oracle cards here. And then I would sort of just pick one at random. Right now, I'm just going to do this. But I'd pick 1 or 2 or 3 of these at random. I'd throw them like, you know, on the card, near the card. Again, if you picked like several of them up and you picked them on the card, see, these aren't even staying, which is really interesting. So, but even if they're near the card, you know that you are picking these as clarifiers, right? So if they're on the card, they're even more important for you to pay attention to. And if they're beside the card, it depends on their proximity. So again, you would read, say, if you got these charms near the card, you would read from left to right. So the elephant, the winged key, and their other key as well. And it's interesting having double keys here too. So that's like super important to keep in mind. All right. So that is how I would read the charms. And I hope that this has helped you to get a sense of how to do this for your own readings. You will see links to my charm casting kit in my Etsy store below this video, and you can get the kit right there on Etsy. And I hope you will also join my Facebook group, the Midnight Oracle Facebook group, and we can connect there more soon. All right, take care.